What's up everyone, it's Alex. What kind of twin motorcycle is the Royal Enfield 650 series? I've had several questions and comments lately that lead me to believe there's a little bit of confusion on this, so I'm going to clear it up real fast. Royal Enfields are a parallel twin cylinder engine, and I'm going to explain that in a second. I also had a comment recently that was kind of like, seemed like it was yelling about the fact that they're not a vertical twin because the cylinders lean forward. I don't seem to remember ever on the channel mentioning that the Royal Enfield 650 was a vertical twin. I think I've always said parallel twin, which is what it is. That's kind of splitting hairs. So let me explain this to you. In your twin cylinder motorcycles, you have three very common varieties in twin cylinder motorcycles, okay? You have a parallel twin, where the cylinders sit right next to each other, whether they lean forward or not, they sit right next to each other. You have a V-twin, like Harleys, Ducatis, etc. A lot of other motors where they are at a V-style angle. And with V-twins, some people draw a distinction between 45 degree, 90 degree, different degrees of V-twins, or L-twin. It's a V-twin, okay? Cylinders are like this, no matter what the degree is, it's some kind of a V-twin. And then you have engines like the BMW Boxer motors, which is an opposed twin cylinder, where your cylinders stick out at the sides directly across and facing away from each other, okay? Those are your three main varieties of V-twins. There are some other like variations, you know, like Moto Guzzi tends to take the V-twin and just turn it sideways. It's still a V-twin of a type, it's just facing the other direction than traditional V-twins. But those are your three basic types of twin motorcycles. The Royal Enfield 650 series are parallel twin motors, which at this point are becoming my favorite twin cylinders because you get that kind of twin cylinder torque, but they tend to have a little bit more smoothness than a V-twin does. Now V-twins usually, because of the angle, produce a little bit more torque, but the parallel twins tend to be a little bit smoother. It's all preference on that one. I love V-twins a lot too for what they are. I also am a big fan of the opposed twins, like the Boxer motors. I like those motors a lot too. I just tend to like twins in general. But the 650 Enfields are a parallel twin, whether they're vertical or lean forward slightly, they're a parallel twin. Now let me take you and show you what I'm talking about. You see, on Royal Enfield, your cylinders sit right next to each other, and if we look, there is, if you're parallel with the ground, there is a very slight forward lean to it. However, if you pay close attention, you'll notice that the entire motor, from cylinders going down to the crank, the whole thing is actually leaning very slightly forward in the frame. So I'm not sure if you want to count that as a, you know, a vertical twin where the entire motor is leaning forward, or if you just want to call it where the cylinders just lean. But yes, there is a very, very slight forward pimp lean to the cylinders, but if we move around real close, you can see the two cylinders, one, two, they sit right next to each other in the frame, okay? That's one side, that's the other side, but the cylinders sit right next to each other, parallel to each other, and that is what makes it a parallel twin motorcycle, whether they lean forward or not. Really, who cares? So that was it. I hope that clears it up. I just wanted to explain that real quick because there does seem to be some confusion on the whole parallel twin, vertical twin, different kinds of twins. Royal Enfield 650s are a parallel twin, and I know a lot of you know what that means, but I wanted to cover that for those that don't. That is what a parallel twin motorcycle means. Your two cylinders are sitting right next to each other. A lot of good examples of this. The Triumph Bonnevilles are parallel twin motorcycles. That Kawasaki 800 is a parallel twin motorcycle. There's a lot of them throughout the ages. Ninja 500s, really good motor design, very classic thing. It was huge, especially in British bikes and Japanese bikes from 60s, 70s era. Kind of got away from it a little bit. Industry's returning to it on a lot of different stuff, but that's it. Royal Enfield 650s are a parallel twin, whether they're vertical or not. Really, who cares? It doesn't make a difference in your enjoyment of riding the motorcycle. Hope that helped someone. I'm Alex. Peace.